The culture in the United States is sick. It's contagious. It's like somebody having an open sore. They just keep scratching. And then they look at you and they put their hands on you and try to touch you.
You get your fucking hands off me.
Nobody wants to admit the social pressures that we're all under for pretty much everything that we do. And now with social media, well, things are 100 times worse. In this video, I want to prove to you why most Americans' need to be accepted has almost destroyed the most powerful and the richest country that the world has ever seen. Welcome to the Mr. Wilson's Got a Headache podcast. I'm your host, Dennis the Menace. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the conversation in the comment section. Check this out.
Becomes a new average monthly car payment of $733, according to Kelley Blue Book.
Wow.
Ken, that is insane.
Wow. That's the average?
That's the average. I don't want to give you a heart attack on air, Ken, but the average price paid for a new vehicle is up to a new record of $48,000.
Wow.
That is nuts.
Sir, what is your car payment?
Mine is $1,325.
And what kind of vehicle is that?
It's a 22 Ford Raptor.
Okay. You have another payment?
I do, actually. My wife's, hers is $1,000. It's a 22 Ford Expedition.
True story. A few months back, I approached this woman. There's a lot of guys trying to talk to her. I approached her and she seemed to be responding pretty nice to me. So at some point, everybody else kind of walked away because they noticed that we were kind of vibing a little bit. And we got into a different type of conversation. And eventually, I asked her, I said, hey, listen, do you drive? And she said, yeah, I drive. What you think? I'm a bum or something? I'm like, first of all, relax, because I just asked you a simple question. And then I asked her, I said, I asked you because I'm going to take you out, and I needed to know whether or not I needed to pick you up. And she was like, no, I got a whip. I said, okay, what type of whip you got? She told me she had a BMW. I was like, okay. And then she was like, and just so you know, I'm a 2025 girl. I only drive cars that are up to date. Little did she know that in that moment, she told me everything I needed to know about her. And immediately, she became less attractive. First of all, I had already found out that she was a CNA that was working like 50 hours a week and probably making somewhere around $20 an hour driving a 2025 BMW. And then she told me every year she updates her car, which means she didn't have time to pay off the last loan, so she had to take that over to the new loan. No shade to her, because this is a normal thing that we see in the United States. People associate things and the year, make, and model of things with how successful you are. And they will go to any length to make sure they have up-to-date cell phones, cars, even rental spaces, which we're going to get into next, just to impress other people. But unfortunately, they're walking themselves into a financial trap that they won't be able to back out of at some point. This type of mindset has not just shown up in the way people deal with their own finances, but it's also shown up in the way that our government deals with our money. People are struggling, and instead of downsizing, they continue to do things just like this.
Besides the fact that I'm extremely struggling to pay my rent every month, you know how I realized that it's really, really bad out here? I live in the hood, okay? I live in the hood. First moved in, it was 100% black. And now, I was just walking my dog and this white guy was like, to me.
They wanted living in the storage unit. I was able to get electricity so I could start cooking. Tonight I'm gonna finally be able to stretch out while I'm sleeping. It's actually better than sleeping in the car.
I told myself I would never cry on the internet because I think that's so lame. But I just got our rent renewal thing for our apartment complex, and it's going up by $300 a month.
When I was younger, I saw myself moving out of my parents' house, finding me a dope place, maybe in a condo in downtown with these nice finishes and a pool and maybe a bar on my level, you know what I'm talking about? And eventually I went and I got me a really nice rental. The key word is rental. It was so nice. And when I got it, I felt like I had accomplished something. And then when I got the place and I took a few pictures and I put it online, and people were like, yo, bro, man, I want to come through and see what you got. I had to make up excuses as to why nobody could come over because I didn't even have a chair to sit on at that point. So here I am months later, still trying to get furniture. If it takes you that long to get furniture, the place you're in is too expensive for you. Lo and behold, eventually I lost my job. And the next thing you know, I was knocking on mommy and daddy's door like, I had an uncontrollable urge to spend money as soon as it hit my hand. I don't expect everybody to admit that you've been through this, but if you have, let me know in the comments. But I'm sure we all know somebody exactly like that. This has become the norm in American culture. Sometimes I just don't think that a lot of us understand how good we have it here and how many safety blankets we have to catch us when we fall. Whether it is emergency food stamps, maybe a shelter, or some housing voucher that might help you pay your rent for a month or pay your light bill for a month. But because we have all of these safety blankets, these safety nets to catch us, many of us have become dependent on these things. And they've become a crutch and they slow our development. Check this out.
So yes, it is true. Credit card debt is set to hit record levels as consumer holiday spending rises. According to CNBC, it says consumers are on track to set a spending record this month. It says already 36% of Americans went into debt this season. According to one recent report, it says leaning on credit cards to purchase gifts will come at a high cost if those balances aren't paid off quickly. Now, this is where experts are saying Americans have been tricked in many different ways. Just listen to this. One person says, have you ever heard of 0% interest for 12 months? And somebody responded with, yes, these are ways to get you in the door. Here's the problem, and you've probably seen this before. You come in and you'll get these credit card little pre-approval letters in the mail, and they'll say you're pre-approved for up to $10,000, 0% interest for 12 months. Guess what? That's true. If you use it and you pay it on time, right? You do everything by the book, 0% interest for 12 months. Okay? It's pretty much free money. Here's the issue. If you miss one payment, okay? Just one payment is all it takes. You would then go from a 0% interest to a 20+% interest rate.
In the United States, our access to capital because of our fractional reserve system or access to a credit card can be both a blessing and a curse. Instead of me doing what I usually do, which is I usually wrap videos up completely, let's check out what Elon Musk said in the first cabinet meeting.
The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt, now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing; it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here, and taking a lot of flack and getting a lot of death threats. By the way, I mean I like to stack them up, but if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done.
Elon Musk summed it up perfectly. This is not something that we can think about doing if we want to be successful. It is essential. It must happen or the United States will fall into bankruptcy. And the question I have for you, if you think differently from what Doge is doing, remembering what I said earlier about all of these safety nets that we have in the United States, who is the safety net for the United States government? There is no safety net for the United States government. We are the safety net for the world. Do me a favor, like the video. If you're still here and you're still watching, I appreciate you. Do me a favor, like the video. It only takes a second and it helps me out a ton. Subscribe to the channel to see future content. And let me know your honest opinion in the comment section. Any comment that I see, I will make sure that I respond to and give you my honest opinion, my honest, respectful opinion. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.